Okay, we're recording for Conversations in Black. We're talking about seasoned sexuality. Take one. We want to know, do seniors still have satisfying?
Yeah, that I tell you, that is hi. I'm Ashay Jackson, and that's such a general question. To be honest with you, I don't know what seniors do, but I can speak to this, like the way that it is today, and how people take care of themselves, and all the medications that we're being fed. I really think it does something to the libido. So that, really it's a generalized question, but I would like to think, we are seniors, and we just have a little more experience with it, I would suppose. And so it has been satisfying for me the times that I have had it. Ain't that nice?
No, that's cool. That's cool. Okay, I just want you to look at your camera when you answer next time.
Okay, look at my
Okay,
camera. Okay.
take two. Are you single senior, or are you in a committed relationship?
Um, to be honest with you, I do not look at myself as a senior at all, but I guess the age gives me that title. And no, I'm not in a committed relationship. Wish I was.
We heard that. With all of the effective HIV treatments, does it matter what a sexual partner status is at this stage in your life?
Most definitely, it does matter. Yeah, without a doubt, it does matter. Yeah, to protect myself, to protect the person that I'm dealing with, most definitely. Yeah, answer to that would be yes.
Do you know your own HIV or STD status?
I most definitely do. Yes, I do. I,
Cool. Okay. Okay. You want to keep answering, and give me a second before you answer, so I can take down the question.
okay.
All right.
So I think it's extremely important when you meet someone, if you're headed in that direction, to get tested before and maybe not after, because of the day and age that we're living in. I just really think, for love of self, and yeah, people around you, I really think it's important to do that.
How has your sexual attitude changed now that you're a seasoned individual, and if so, how?
Thank you. I like that word, seasoned. So it most definitely has. I truly believe that with age comes wisdom, especially if you're paying attention to yourself. And I just view it totally different than I did when I was younger. I have more love and compassion for myself, definitely much more self respect. So it's no longer a casual thing. Without a doubt, it's no longer a casual thing, because of what I've done. And I'll just tell you, being celibate helped me on that journey. It definitely helped me to get to know self, to realize my value, and that's extremely important.
Very good. Very good. So, how do you find your dates or partners as a seasoned person?
Well, I'm going to share something that I did some time ago. I
Hold
was
on, hold
kind
on, hold on one second. Give
of,
me a chance. Give me a chance to take it down so we see your face. So that means you probably want to be looking at the camera. Okay. Okay, you can go.
so that question, that's a good question. So I'm going to share something that I did some years ago. I was encouraged to go on a dating app or website or whatever they call it. And it was not a good experience for me. People can definitely hide. They fantasize about who they are, and then when you meet them, it's like, oh my God, that's not even you. So I'll just say, being seasoned, it's a little more difficult. I don't understand why, but it just has been, a little more difficult to attract, especially, somebody that you're looking to gel with, and it's just not like how it used to be when I was younger, especially because a lot has changed. What I'm looking for in somebody, and what I'm attracting, and so I just like to say it's not as easy as it was before.
Cool. So put yourself in the position. If you were HIV positive, would you feel the need to share that your status with anyone, like your family or your sexual partners?
Most definitely, without a doubt, especially um, number one, especially family. I just feel like they have a right to know. I come from a family that, if they have heart trouble, they want to hide it from you, to protect you. But I'm saying, my thinking to that is, let me protect me. But I totally understand why people, don't want to put it out there. But yes, I wouldn't have a problem sharing it with my family. Most definitely would not hide from a sexual partner. I think that's irresponsible. Yeah, and that's my take on it.
You're doing a great job. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes. So, if you were or are HIV positive as a seasoned person, would you even ever have sex again?
Wow, that's a loaded question. That really is a loaded question. So the thought of never having sex again is not a good thought at all. Um, but that's really a hard question to answer because of the fact that I'm not HIV positive, and I don't even know how I would feel if I were. But I would like to think that, once I'm able to live with it, because that's the thing, once I'm able to live with it, that I would still be able to, live a satisfying sexual life with, whatever partner that I encounter.
Do you think that there are enough resources and information about HIV and STDs for seasoned people?
Again, that question's kind of hard for me to answer because of the fact that I'm not HIV positive. I had a sister who passed away in 1996 of HIV. But because my focus after that was never, wasn't on it. I guess because of the pain and the hurt of dealing with it, but my focus just wasn't on it. So I would be disingenuous if I answered that question because I really don't know. I'm sure that it isn't um, because the numbers just kind of keep rising as far as I know, especially in our communities. So yeah, I'm sure that there can always be more help and more resources and more talks and more conversations and more transparencies regarding it.
Great, 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 great. Would you consider a twice a year shot to protect you from HIV? Or pills or a bi-monthly shot. Would you consider something called PrEP, that which is pre-exposure prophylactic for HIV?
To be totally honest with you, I don't think that I would. I don't think that if I was HIV positive or trying not to contract it, I don't think that I would. So in my opinion, what happens with stuff like that is that it keeps us from being responsible. It just gives us a kind of lackadaisical attitude regarding it. Because if I get this shot, I don't have to worry about giving it to you. And I think that the stuff that they're coming up with, I'm sure that it really, really does help. But it's still, like, all of it is still in trial. It's like a trial and error thing, so that they're never 100% positive. And I kind of feel like, especially the Black community, especially people of color, we're used as guinea pigs, for these type of trials. But I'm sure that some of them are important. So to answer your question, would I do it? The answer would definitely be no.
And finally, have you heard anything or do you know anything about tantric sex?
Yes, I don't know a lot about tantric sex, but I do know a little bit about it. From what I've learned, the little bit that I know about it, it has more to do with healing than it has to do with the actual sexual act. Um, I think it's a teaching kind of tool. And I'll just put it for me, learning even as a young woman, even up until now, sex was just an act. I mean, if I loved you, I kind of showed you through the sex, but tantric, I believe, makes it more spiritual. It just makes it more spiritual. And I believe that in that there's healing. And I know for myself, there's so many of us, especially women, who need healing regarding sex. And so I definitely want to learn more about tantric sex. Definitely want to get more into the healing, because I really, really believe it could be a helpful tool. And I also know that tantric sex is more in the, for lack of a better word, white community, Caucasian community. They know so much more about it than we do. And I actually met somebody when I went to St. Lucia who practices tantric sexual healing, and we had a conversation about it. And the majority of his clients are white people, and he doesn't understand it. But it's really something that I think would benefit our community. And so if I learn a little bit more about it, I'll share a little bit more about it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much for your responses. We really appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Yeah, I just want to say that I'm just so grateful